Hey everybody, Derek here to bring another video for The Walking Dead Season 5. And what I'm going to do today is do an analysis video basically on the Easter egg that was revealed on Talking Dead, I think it was last week, in relation to the last 5 episode titles. For those of you that may not know about it, the last 5 episode titles are, of course, titled Remember, Forget, Spend, Try, and Conquer. And what they realized was that those words were used in William Faulkner's, I don't know exactly what work it's from, but when Dale quoted Faulkner back in the episode Vatos, Season 1, Episode 4, he mentioned these, and these episode titles are related to what Dale was talking about. And I kind of want to give my analysis so far. I'm going to try to do one of these videos each week to see how this will fit into the story. But I want to see how this poem or this, quote relates to what's going on in the story. So there may be a little bit of spoilers in regards to, what's happened so far. So if you're not caught up, this could be a spoiler video. But it's more of just an analysis and what's going on. So you may not be as spoiled. But this is what Dale said, and I'm going to read it word for word here. When the father gives the son his watch, like a pocket watch, basically, it's like a tradition, the father gives his son his watch, and it says, I give you a mausoleum of all hope and desire that will fit your individual needs no better than it did mine and my father before me. I give it to you not that you may remember time, but that you may forget it for a moment now and then, and not spend all of your breath trying to conquer it. So that's what it says. Now, I'm only so poetic. I feel like in general, when you see things and when you read things, you take different things out of it. But this is what I think that it means in a sense. You know, that fitting your individual needs no better than it did mine and my father before me. I think it, relates a lot to, time slipping away. And that maybe there are things that we wanted to do or things that we didn't get the chance to do, but something just that's just the way the world works and it's just the way our lives are. We can only spend so much time, doing A, B, C, and D. Life gets in the way and we may not get to accomplish all that we get. But when it says, I give it to you, not that you may remember time, I feel like that's a little more related to, what Rick's group is going through when they first enter the community. Remember being in the sense of everybody remembering what all happened, before. Everything that they went through with the governor, with, Gareth and Terminus, the hunters, every bad thing that happened to them obviously is something that they are going to remember for the rest of their lives. It's never going to be something that is forgotten. I think that it's impossible to forget such terrible memories. But I guess what they're saying is here, it's like, I'm giving you this watch not so that you remember time. Don't look at it every minute and don't always, wind it up. But nonetheless, you're still going to remember things. You're still gonna have that memory. And Rick's group, remembering a lot of things that happened to them, which resulted in them, having, the events happen in the episode. When Aiden and Nicholas take them out on the run and they run into the walker and they almost kill Tara, this is remembering, hey, walkers are dangerous, darn it, okay? And this idea of, well, we need to remember because if we don't, then we're going to get weak. Almost relates to, well, if I forget time, or if I remember time, then I'm going to remember that I'm going to be able to do these things. If I remember that, I only have so long left, or, that time is slipping away because I'm getting older, or I'm doing this, I'm doing that, then I need to remember to do these things, or I need to remember that this is something that I want to do and I need to apply it to what I'm doing now. So it's almost like, Rick's group taking that, and we need to continue to live like this, okay? We need to continue to have this outlook on life, because if we don't, then we're going to get weak. So I think that's part of it. But you remember it says, but I give it to you not that you remember time, but that you may forget it for a moment now and then. I feel that all ties into one. And what you saw here in Forget was some of the group members forgetting, not totally forgetting, but for a moment now and then. The group almost forgot what was going on at the cocktail party. It's one of those moments where, Abraham, you think about it. Earlier in the season, Abraham is stressed out, angry, almost killed Eugene, has done terrible things. I mean, well, not, but whenever he killed those men that, attacked his wife and children, he's done terrible things like that. And he's definitely had a temper. But cocktail party comes, he's drinking and laughing and joking around with Michonne. He, in a way, for a moment, forgot about all of the terrible things that happened. And I think that Rick did the same thing, when he was talking with people, kissing Jesse, forgetting just how terrible the world is, and some people were able to adjust more to that and some weren't. And again, it's like, but that you may forget it for a moment now and then, recognizing that, you're not always going to remember things, but, if you're able to just let things go and let things, take their course, let things go the course, flow, and then follow along with it. And maybe for a moment you may have peace, or you may not be so stressed out or so upset. And I think that's almost like what it's saying. Like, hey, I give this to you, put the darn watch in your pocket and forget about it for a while. Every now and then. Don't be stressed out about what time is it to, do this, and when do I got to go do this, and when do I got to go do this. That, to me, that's what it's saying, is pull that pocket watch out a week later and be like, oh my gosh, I forgot I had it in my back pocket. And it's the same thing here. It's almost like you want the group to forget about, for a moment now and then, the terrible things that happened to them, and give them an opportunity to, try to readjust and try to, become different individuals, for a moment, to relax. And I think that you saw a little bit of that. But you also saw that some people are not, adjusting to that as well. You saw that with Sasha. You saw a little bit of that with Daryl, but he kind of, when he went on the mission, to rescue the horse, it was in a sense forgetting about, a couple of other worries and just trying to work towards something with Aaron and try to build a rapport there. So I feel in a way that was also a forget moment. But you also see with people like, Noah having a very difficult time at the party, and then Sasha, of course, just, suffering from PTSD a little bit and just not, adjusting as well. I think that that definitely was some people who are still not able to forget, who are still in the remember stage. So I feel that so far that's what we've seen. Now, my understanding of the rest of the quote may contribute to what we're going to see in the future here. So I'm going to read the rest again just real quick. I give it to you not that you may remember time, but that you may forget it for a moment now and then, and not spend all of your breath trying to conquer it. Now, spend. One of the things that I look at is, this is an allocation of your time, your resources. What are you going to spend your time doing? And I think that what we might see in the future here is who is going to spend their time in this community trying to build it, strengthen it, make it better, adjust to it, work with these people, and who isn't, or will they? And I think that spending your time, you always hear the sentence, spend your time wisely. Here, I think it's more of a, are you going to spend all of your time in this community worrying about who lives next door to you, worrying about all these threats, worrying about, walkers, things like that? Or are you going to spend more of your time focusing inward and focusing on this group and making it stronger? And of course, you can't always focus it on one or the other. You have to meet a middle ground. There has to be a middle ground with this group about where are we going to go. And I think that sometimes they're going to be spending moments going, you know what, this is a great community and I want to make it work. And I want to see us come together. And I think that some people are going to be willing to work together, but others are not. Or there's going to come those moments when something gets triggered and we go, wait a minute, I need to spend a little bit more of my time maybe focused on worrying about who Pete is, who Deanna is, who Aiden is, who these wolves are, the W on the walker's forehead, the walkers in general, the strength of the walls, anything that could potentially go wrong, then you have to worry about that. So we may see a little bit of that there. Trying. This is where I think that we may see Rick's group potentially try to take over the community. Maybe, we'll see. Where instead of spending more of their time trying to strengthen the community, they're going to try to conquer it. In a sense, putting their effort, spending their effort, saying, hey, we're in charge, we're taking over because you did this wrong, you did this, there's a problem with this. We can't risk going back out there. We remember what it is like to be out there, and we want this community to work. We want to be here and we want to be safe. So they may try to conquer the community, take it over. Maybe not as, badly as it could go. But I think that, if the scene between Pete Anderson and Rick in the comics does happen, and there is a little bit of a, shock value to the entire community, it's going to be, like everybody going, whoa, this Rick guy is dangerous. These people here are dangerous. We can't trust them. And Rick basically, in the group coming together and saying, no, we're not leaving. You let us in. We're here. We're going to make this work. And you can either do that or you can go bye-bye. Okay? Simple as that. So there may be that. Now, conquer can mean a couple of things. You think about empires conquering other empires. You also see things like people conquering their own fears, things like that. So not spending all of your breath trying to conquer it. In a sense, conquering time. That would almost be like me saying, well, I can give myself a couple extra minutes of life doing this, doing that, or I could, stop time. I can do this, I can do that. No, you can't. 60 seconds goes by, it's a minute, okay? You can't stop that, okay? Nothing changes that. But on the other hand, sometimes you can take control of what you do with your time. Maybe not necessarily conquering it totally, but, when you take a moment, you sit there and I say, you know what, I could sit here and do nothing, or, you know what, I can go out there and I can do this and that and this and that. I can go out there and play with my son or mow the lawn or do this, do an extra shift, help out a friend. You decide what you want to do with it. And of course, what are you conquering? Are you conquering your own fear about time slipping away or what time is doing to you or to the world or whatever? Or are you going to spend all of your time thinking that I can just do what I want with my time, and you know what, time doesn't matter, and I'm on top of this? What are you going to do? And I think that Rick's group, conquer can mean a couple of things. Conquer can mean we're going to take over this community, it's ours, and we're here, and you guys are following us. Conquer could mean, hey, all those other things that are coming in are going to get you, and it's going to tear the community apart. So the outside forces could potentially conquer you instead, because you let it. Because instead of, not worrying about it, you let it worry you, and it in essence defeated you. Or it could mean conquering your own fears, conquering your fear about time. In this sense, in Rick's group, conquering that fear of we can't trust these people, this isn't going to work, conquering every or almost every bad moment that happened and starting to trust people. That I think is something that we may see in the future, and this is how it will end. Seeing that Rick's group and everybody else can conquer their own fears about what's going on and finally come together as a community and work together. Those are just predictions. We'll see what happens. I feel a little more comfortable with remember and forget, applying. But I want to do an updated video of this every week when we see it to see what it means and does it really relate to what Dale said. Because I don't think it's a coincidence or an accident that these titles are what they are. So I'm very, very excited to see what will come of this the rest of this season and how it will relate. So that's all I have. If you guys have any questions or comments, don't be afraid to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos. And if you guys have any suggestions that you would like to see, don't be afraid to suggest them. I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you.